Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ballewga. Welcome back to another League of Legends of course video. Today we're going to be playing Ekko Jungle, which I know I said I wasn't going to do, but found something that works pretty well, so I was going to show you guys. Well, I mean, it's only worked well 2 games. I'm going to keep trying it out, but I'm going to go ahead and make this video. So, we'll just jump right into it. Runes are going to be attack speed reds, ability power quints, armor yellows, and ability power blues. This is pretty close to what I've always run on Ekko, except I used to run magic resist instead of ability power blues, but nowadays you just go full damage on Ekko Jungle. You can't really mess around with bruiser or tank because of what Riot did to his kit. So I figured why not go ahead and take AP blues, and then that actually speeds up your jungle route a little bit. Obviously you do a little more damage, but you take a little more damage, so you just have to play accordingly. You can't really initiate on Ekko anymore. And just be careful about when you fight people, because you'll take a lot more damage than you might be used to. I mean, I don't know how you've been playing Ekko, but if you run this site, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. These are the masteries that I run. It's 0, 18, 12. 12 in ferocity would be nice because you do a lot more damage, but you can't clear the jungle with 12 in ferocity. I mean, you can technically clear it and not die to the camps, but you'll have like a third life when you finish your route. And then you'll be pretty much useless as far as ganks go right at the end of your route. So this way you can actually clear the jungle. That's what all 4 of these really keep up your health while you're on your first route, and then if you have decent life you can of course gank. All these, like I said, are for keeping up your health. Movement speed out of combat helps you get around the map quicker. I value this a little bit more than this on champions that are primarily AoE, and your Q is your main clear tool, which is of course AoE. So we're going with this. Assassin, because you can pick off people that are split pushing. Merciless, obviously you do more damage, you don't need this as a jungler. Dangerous game, you could also take Greenfather's Gift. Probably not Bandit, but either one of these is fine, but I prefer Dangerous Game for just living through the whole team fight. Precision, of course, you want to do more damage, this isn't worth it. And then Thunderlords, you could also take Storm Raiders, but I think Storm Raiders caps with your passive, they don't work quite right together, and obviously you're not going to take that. So 0, 18, 12 and the runes, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the gameplay. Okay, so here we are in the game. By the way, a little quick note, this is actually my favorite Ekko skin now ever since they released his Chroma Pack. I don't actually have SKT T1 Ekko yet, and that skin's cool because it's, red themed, which is kind of cool with Ekko's spells and stuff, but I mean, it's also a skin glorifying the one player, so I'm probably going to get it, but I'm probably not going to use it much. It's just, I don't really like SKT that much in general, and I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the theme of that skin, but the colors are cool on it, I guess. But anyways, this is my favorite Ekko skin really ever since it came out. So team comp wise, our team comp looks like the most troll team comp you could possibly pick, and that's actually why I went Ekko. I haven't been playing Ekko very much. I figured this one was going to not go well, so I said I'll just play Ekko and mess around, because that's what my team seemed to be doing. Teemo, Kayn mid, Pantheon support, and then our last pick went Ashe. They almost went Xin Zhao, which would have been pretty cool, but they went with Ashe. So everyone on the team is picking some random shit, so I was like, alright, I'll just go Ekko and have fun. Didn't really have high expectations coming into this one. But anyways, for Ekko Jungle, nowadays I start with Q and I start at Raptors. If you get a leash from your bot, I guess you could start at your buff and start with your W, but it's pretty easy, especially if you go 12 in Resolve to clear Raptors. And as long as you stand back here, you want to stand to where your Q expands on the first Raptors like mine did, so that way it'll actually hit all of them, get its passive on all of them. Then I just go ahead and come up, slap them, try to pop your passive on all the little ones. If you didn't know, whenever you kill Raptors, you want to kill all of the little ones first and then move on to the big one, because then that's how you get technically the most experience out of it. Now, it's not a huge difference if you kill the big one and then the little one, but you get a little bit more if you kill all the little ones and then the big one. So that's what I do here. I kill them all. I get my W second. You do need your W to kill any monsters like this, so like red, blue, or Gromp. You have to have your W for those, because it does percentage damage when they are below 30% life, and that means if they're really high health monsters, it's obviously going to help you clear them a lot. So you get your W, your Q, let's go ahead and speed it up. My bot lane, my Pantheon died, but it's not a big deal. And I did smite the red. I didn't get a leash here. Don't usually get a leash when I play Ekko jungle because everyone thinks I'm trolling. But it's okay. It just means that my jungle route's going to be a little bit slower, and I'm not going to be super high life when I come out of it. But luckily, Jax didn't try to invade me. So he clearly could have if he had come straight here, but we're going to be okay. So I'm going to go and finish this off. I see Jax top, but I can't really do a lot because I am a little bit lower than half life. So I'm going to try to go for Scuttle. Now I knew where Jax was, and see with my smite on Scuttle I am going to heal. I warded here because I knew Jax was ganking top, but he apparently doesn't really care about me. I don't know if he saw me or not, but anyways, he's going to keep trying to camp top, so I'm going to come mid. Lux flashes, but unfortunately she still lands inside of my W. So because of that, we are going to pick her off. Kayn gets plenty of his passive towards Blue Kayn, which is still really bad. Even though they patched it, Blue Kayn still sucks. And this guy is going to be going Blue Kayn, but it's okay. I pick up the kill on the Lux. And then I had a pretty good start here. Luckily, the enemy jungler didn't invade me. If the enemy jungler understands the game, they're probably going to invade you, and that's the right thing for them to do. And you as the Ekko player, usually you just kind of want to try to farm something else and let them come what they come for, because your team's probably not going to help you. So you can't really win 1v1s until you get a couple items. So because of that, you kind of have to play passive early, and it sucks, but it is what it is. I had enough money for Boots Mobility and Dark Seal. If you haven't been paying attention, pretty much go Boots Mobility on every jungler right now. Kind of obsessed with the mobility that they grant. Now if I play a full tank like Sejuani or Rammus, I won't go Boots Mobility usually, but on any bruiser or assassin type, always. And then I went for Dark Seal because this, like I said, this is one of those games where, one, I was kind of messing around at first, and two, I figure at this point, either I'm carrying or we're not winning. So I went ahead for the Dark Seal. I'm sorry, I'm going to rewind this because I was kind of sped through and wasn't talking. So here, Pantheon goes ahead and initiates on the Draven. They are going to burst the Pantheon down because he's not really that tanky. Well, Draven actually just walls on him. Leona stuns me and then tries to peel for the Draven, which was smart of her, but I had flash up, so I go ahead and flash E the Draven. But he's going to flash away from me. However, he's low enough to where I'm going to kill him in one auto. Make sure you do shift click when you walk into bushes versus enemy champions, because you want to auto attack them. That programs your champion to auto attack them as soon as they see him, which is quicker than a human can react. So shift click into the bush after Draven. I'm going to go ahead and finish him off. Now Riven actually teleported in, so I go ahead and try to pop my passive on the Leona just so I can get away from them. However, Jax actually comes down too, so Riven teleported in and Jax counterganked me. So now at this point, I'm just trying to run away. I did already use my flash to kill the Draven, and the Jax flash jumps on me. He stuns me. Riven's still there. They do manage to finish me off, and I'm gonna die. But I did get 2 kills out of that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to keep any of, well, I got a kill, sorry, out of that. I killed the Draven, and unfortunately, I didn't get to keep my stacks. But before those whole shenanigans bought, Draven already had 3 kills. So we needed to kind of put a halt on that because Draven can obviously solo carry games. One thing that the Draven did wrong is he's obviously going for Death's Dance as his first item, but he had so much gold early game, he probably could have gone straight into Infinity Edge and just started killing people on repeat. But I guess he wanted the safe route. He goes Death's Dance. Either way, I need to try to slow down his snowball. So I go ahead and gank bot. That's why we killed him. I find Jax in my jungle. I go ahead and E him on the plant to make sure that he can't take the plant to escape. He knew that, so instead he ward hops over. He autos the dragon, I guess, to slow me. When I came and attacked him, I really didn't know why. But he does manage to get a stun on me. I tried to turn back, but I didn't do it quickly enough, and the dragon was slowing me the whole time. Pantheon roams up, and he is going to get the kill on Jax, which I really don't mind. I did get an assist with my Dark Seal. It is support Pantheon, but I mean, I'd rather Jax be dead and a support get it than Jax get away just to try and let me get it. So either way, I come out with an assist out of that. I am level 5, almost 6, and my red is up, so I'm going to go ahead and clear it. I think I hit 6 off of this. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go back to ganking. I actually made a tweet joke about this, but really and truly, League of Legends for junglers in Season 7, it just feels like you need to fight all the time. So like I said in the past couple videos, just clear Raptors, your buffs, and then gank. Krugs, Wolves, and Gromp don't really worry about unless you really have free time, but most of the time you're just buffs, Raptors, make sure you kill Raptors, and then gank. So here the enemy bot lane killed my Pantheon. I'm going to go ahead and come in. I have to ult back because I am running that hyper offensive rune page, so I did take a lot of damage from the Draven, but we are going to be able to finish him off. Ashe gets him. Leona jumps on the Ashe. She's unfortunately going to kill her. I try to go into Leona. Here, I would have gone after Leona, but I did see the Jax. Jax turns on his E, so I knew that I couldn't do it. So I have to let Leona go, but luckily with the minion autos and my red buff, she is going to die to me. And then it's 2v1, me and Kayn versus Jax. And I know that he used his E just now to try and save Leona. So I go ahead and go all in on him, take a turret shot, it doesn't matter. He didn't have his flash and he didn't have his E. I knew he didn't have his flash from that previous team fight. So we're going to go ahead and kill the Jax again too. So now I'm 3-1-3. I've got 5 Dark Seal stacks. And the game's actually looking pretty good right now. So up until this point I was kind of just messing around, but right now I was kind of realizing we could actually win the game if I tried. So going to keep doing the same stuff. That's the correct way to play, which is Raptors, my buffs, gank. Raptors, my buffs, gank. I guess it's kind of fun because you're fighting enemy players the whole time, so I guess it's fun in that sense, but it's kind of tedious to me. But either way, I kill my Raptors, so it's time to gank. I go ahead and come bot. Throw down my W where I think Draven's going to be. I don't hit him, but I make sure I do get that shield so Draven can't nuke me. Goes ahead and finishes off the Ashe. I'm going to kill him. Right now we're at 7 stacks. Obviously Leona's going to die here too. Pantheon takes it. That's fine. I'm at 8 stacks. The enemy bot lane, or I mean Lux and Jax come down. I'm going to go ahead and just clear some wards. Relax. However, Pantheon gets a pretty smart ult. I don't know why it panned to Draven. Pantheon gets a pretty smart ult, and then he cuts them off. He didn't really have a ton of life, but with Kayn all-inning Lux at the same time, he was safe in the sense that they had other stuff to worry about. Now Lux is going to finish him off with his ult, but then we're going to finish the Lux off. I managed to get the kill. Now we're at 10 stacks. My Dark Seal's full. Here Jax is trying to burst me down. I'm not going to let him. I go ahead and ult back onto him. He is going to flash to dodge it. I throw down my W. I just barely miss it, and then we're going to let Jax go. So now I am at 10 stacks. I'm going to go ahead and push this. Now the reason that I didn't dive Jax here is because I knew their bot lane was close. Obviously they weren't super close, so I probably could have got some damage on them. But I thought they were closer than this, and there's really no reason for me to risk it, especially since I am stacking just to fight Jax. I mean, I'm already ahead, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Go ahead and recall. Are going to finish my runic echoes. I get another amplifying tome because I am going to go straight into Lich Bane. Sorry, you guys can't see me. We go runic echoes, mobility boots, Lich Bane, and then I think I went Gunblade as my next item after this. Basically, you want those 3 because it gives you a lot of movement speed and a lot of damage early game. And then also, sorry, Dark Seal, which you can upgrade into Mage Eyes, and once you get a certain number of Mage Eyes stacks, you also get movement speed from that. So basically, you get all these items that just make you move really fast around the map. Mobility, obviously, it slows you down when you're in combat, but if you play Ekko right, usually you can pop your passive as soon as you gank someone. Or I mean, as soon as you start combat with someone, and then you've got that movement speed, which kind of makes up for the fact that your boots and mobility are slow now. So, because of that, and then you saw Kayn was trying to annoy me with pings, so I just muted his pings. Thank God, right? I put that in the game. But anyways, with those 4 items, as long as your Mage Eyes has enough stacks, you have a ton of movement speed, and that really also benefits the playstyle of Raptors buffs fight. Raptors buffs fight. It's a really stark contrast to last season and the season before that, where it was really important to clear sweeps out of your jungle and have efficient clearing. Now none of that matters. All you need to do is kill Raptors and then fight people, basically. Kind of dumbed it down, but hey, is what it is. Here my team kills the Lux. I see Jax. I didn't see Jax doing Rift Herald, sorry, but obviously once he killed the Rift Herald, everyone saw. So I figured he was kind of low. It's kind of early, and he's not doing super hot for him to be doing Rift Herald. So I go ahead and check it out. I do have boots and mobility, so I'm going to be able to catch up to him. I smite him. Riven comes down to help him, but I'll just fight Riven too. I jump on her. I get some of my passive on her. I throw my W where I'm pretty sure Riven's going to be. Turns out Jax was there too. Get a double stun. With Teemo, we're going to finish off the Jax. Teemo actually tanks the turret for me, so I'm going to jump on the Riven. This is the kind of playstyle that I really struggled with Ekko, because I used to play him tank, obviously. I have most of my Ekko games, even now, are still on tank Ekko. So in cases like this, if I had dove the Riven first, there's a chance she could have stunned me and nuked me because I'm really squishy. So you have to kind of train yourself to let your teammates do that for you. So here, Teemo tanks it for me, and then I'm going to be able to kill the Riven. But if I had gone in first, I probably would have just died. So that's, like I said, you just got to kind of, I mean, if you need to wear the rubber band and pop your wrist, you know, when you do it, stuff like that. You just got to kind of retrain yourself on how to play Ekko. So here, I wanted to invade his Raptors, but obviously my mid laner's not here and his mid laner is, so I'm not going to be too super aggro. I come down because they get in a fight bottom. They are going to finish off Draven. I run into Jax, but I have 3 levels on this on him at this point, so there's no way he's going to fight me. So I'm going to go ahead and just come over and kill the Leona. She's going to try to outplay me, but when I'm this strong, there is not really that much outplay potential. So I am going to land the stun on her, but then Jax comes to stun me. I do use my ult to dodge his stun, but now I'm kind of in an awkward spot. Luckily, Lux undershoots her Q, or I would have died there. But since she missed that, I'm going to be able to E over the wall, and I am going to get away. The Leona is going to live. And that is the 4th time, I think, that as soon as I've come by Jax and Lux, or the first time it was Riven, sorry, but Jax and one of his solo laners have come to counter me. Good on them, I guess, but I was getting, since I was ahead, it didn't matter. It eventually just comes down to more people for me to kill. So here we have a little team fight around the dragon. Now it is an ocean dragon, so it's not as important as an infernal, but it is still pretty important. We get in a fight. The Riven's gonna die. Here is where it started to get awkward. Luckily this game didn't last too long, or else our team wouldn't have been able to team fight at all, because if you saw there, I am too scared to engage because I'm full squishy Ekko. Kayn, same scenario. He went blue Kayn, so he's squishy. Teemo's not really a frontliner, and Pantheon isn't really either. So because of that, it's just lucky that the game didn't last too long, because we really had no engage, no frontline on our team. We're all damage. So right now it seems to be working pretty well, but it could have changed just like that, just depending on one bad team fight and the game extending. But anyways, here Kayn gets to a fight. He almost dies. He uses his ult to narrowly dodge death. I come in. I go ahead and finish off Lux because I knew I could one-shot her. Kayn plays around my W pretty well. Riven realizes she can't kill Kayn, so she tries to run away, but unfortunately for her, I have a build where I out-mobility a Riven, which is always really fun. Ashe hits a stellar across the map arrow. Riven would have died either way, but that was still a really cool Ashe arrow. We killed the Riven, and then we are going to push this turret. Draven ults me, and of course Jax shows up to counter me. So at this point, I'm super fed. I almost have full stacks on a Magi's. If you guys didn't know, I'll go ahead and spoil it. We do win this game. My score is going to just get prettier as we go on. But enough talking about me. Let's talk about what Jax could have done this game. You guys can still watch me if you want to pay attention to how I clear camps or copy my Ekko movements. I mean, you probably don't want to do that, but it's something you should pay attention to if you're trying to learn Ekko. But either way, what Jax could have done this game. So every single time I ganked bot, Jax counter ganked me. And we call that reactionary playing instead of, you know, like you call it initiative. He's not taking the initiative. Instead, every time I do something, he only reacts to it. The only time he did something on his own was the Rift Herald, so I guess he did well in that part. But then I killed him after he killed the Rift Herald. But either way, so Draven was pretty fed early. So if Jax had come before me, then it would have been a different story. But since I got there first every time, Jax could have either just let bot lane suffer and snowballed another lane, or just try to beat me to the punch on my future ganks. But it seems like every single time he was just farming and then counter ganking me rather than initiating his own stuff. And when you do that, you're just going to fall behind. So I know it's hard to not only react, but you got to kind of understand when are you going to be able to make a difference, and when are you going to be more useful somewhere else. You got to understand that, and the Jax really didn't. Just snowballed our team's lead a little bit more. So here my team gets in a fight. I think Ashe dies, but no one gives a shit. I'm just waiting until they actually push up to my turret. Also, I don't really want to engage. So Kayn jumps in. Now I see 3 really low health targets. I'll go ahead and jump on the Draven because I don't want him to live. I ult immediately because you can see Riven flashed on top of me and Jax had his E on. So unfortunately I have to get out of that fight as soon as I get in it almost, but it was worth it to stay alive. And then I get them low. Jax is of course going to flash stun me. Riven's going to chase after me too. At least the enemy team kind of knew the threat to prioritize, but because of the way they were playing, it just made it really predictable. So that's why I had to insta-ult, because Riven flashed on me to stun me, and then lo and behold, when I get back, Jax flashes on me to stun me. But when everyone's playing the exact same, it gets pretty easy to counterplay. All I had to do was, really, you got to understand that even though Ekko's a melee champion, his Q is pretty long range. So if you have to play in the back and just harass with your Q, then sometimes that's what you do. It really just depends on how the enemies are reacting to you. But this game, you could see pretty much every time I got in melee range, Leona, Riven, or Jax would jump on me. So because of that, I need to play really safe, I guess. My score doesn't really reflect it, but just know when to go in and when not to. Kind of wait on their cooldowns and go in, that kind of thing. So here I have Lichbane, Runic Echoes. By the way, for blue, red, or green ward, I would say blue, probably 90% of Ekko games. Red, if your versus maybe a Master E and you need to take it or something. And I probably wouldn't go green anymore. It was really good on tank Ekko, but on damage Ekko it's a little bit different. And then Lichbane, full stacks my Mage Eyes, and then boots mobility, and I am going to go for that Gunblade. I think Gunblade's pretty good on Ekko, because he's an auto attack reliant champion. You could also go Protobelt. Protobelt seems to be the, I mean, for the longest time, Protobelt has been the Ekko go-to item for assassins, but I like Gunblade. That's all. It does a little bit less damage, I think. If you hit all of Protobelt on someone, it does more damage than if you hit somebody with Gunblade. But Gunblade provides you with a little bit more utility, and it's a range slow, which, you know, never hurt anything. Here, Lux, we had vision of her right here, so I knew she was walking down into the Teemo mushrooms. As soon as she jumps on one, I try to kill her myself, but turns out I just barely missed it and Teemo gets killed. But either way, that doesn't really matter. Draven's alone, so Kayn jumps on him. He is going to be able to kill him, which was actually a really good sight to see, because for the longest time it looked like Draven was going to be able to carry the enemy team, but once our already behind and weak champion Blue Kayn is able to 1v1 him, things are looking up for us. So anyways, right now all our team really needs to do is get a big objective, which we can either get through a team fight or just outmaneuvering the enemy. It really just depends on what happens. I'm going to go for the dragon. See, this is all stuff that is easy for us to do. Take dragons, take all the farm. We can even take their farm. All that's really easy, but the hard stuff for us to do is really break through turrets or take Baron. So if we either break an inhibitor turret or we get Baron, one or the other, the game's going to kind of explode. So we can either do that, like I said, by outmaneuvering them if they just don't respond and we set up one of those things, or more than likely we're just going to have to team fight for it. So here the support and the AD carry are way out of place. Leona's trying to save her Draven, but he's just way too far ahead when his whole team's chasing Teemo. So we're going to kill Draven. We are going to get Leona after this, even though she's kind of tanky. She's going to eventually die to us. I go ahead and BM them, because if you keep their spirits down, you're more likely to win. It's just a sad fact of the game. So anyways, we kill those two. They do get our Teemo on top. That doesn't really matter. Kayn jumps over and he is going to be able to finish off the Jax. Then we go for this turret, and then like I said, this is one of the few things we needed. If we break open their base, the game is going to end pretty quickly after that. So we take that turret. We are going to work on this inhib. I do think we get the inhib, but Kayn ditched us. If Kayn had stayed, we probably could have turned this fight, but Kayn runs. I make sure the Lux ult doesn't hit me, which it doesn't, but it gets Draven. Pantheon. I let my instincts kick in, and I tried to save the Pantheon. I probably could have escaped if I had just run, but I used my spells to try and save Pantheon. It's not going to work, obviously. Pantheon dies, I die, and then Riven flashes, and I think they're going to finish off the Ashe here too. I think they eventually catch her, just because they're discussing mobility. Yep, got her. And then she's going to die too. So, not really anyone's fault on that. We probably could have just kept it to Pantheon if I had run, so I can take blame for that. But also, Kayn going top put us behind, and then he died to Jax anyway, so it doesn't really make sense for him to go top. And then, of course, Teemo getting got, you know, like, everyone's to blame. Everyone did something wrong there, so it's okay. No reason to rage about that. They're going to take our turret, and I think they're going to get Baron here too. Yeah, they do, because I wasn't anywhere near alive to contest it. But even though they just got Baron, and I mean, don't even pay attention to health bars yet, even though they just got a turret and Baron, We were still up about 10 kills. So we still have a huge advantage. And all we need to do is basically team fight. And if it's a fair team fight or in our favor, we'll get rid of all their Barons. So that's what happens here. Pantheon and Teemo come up. They are going to get 2 kills just from Teemo's mushrooms. Jax tries to escape, but I'm going to go ahead and jump on him while my team kills the rest. They're going to finish off Riven, I think. I do believe Pantheon's going to get her. Yep, I smited her so I get an assist. Because I did lose all my stacks, so I'm just trying to get an assist on everything, basically. Not trying to get kills and everything, but I get to 21, and then if I kill Leona, I am going to be back at max stats, and I do kill her. So, boom, back to 25 stacks just like that. And all their Barons are gone, so it wasn't really a big deal that they got the Baron at all, obviously, because we were still really far ahead. So, what their team should have done differently is, I guess Riven and Jax live, because, I mean, even Baron only on 2 would have been better than what happened. So, those two could have jumped over the wall and lived. And maybe it would have been a little bit better. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and recall. I think I have my Gunblade now. And then I'm going for Death Cap as my last item. I accidentally bought BF Sword there for a second. But Death Cap is my last item. This is only a viable build if you're really ahead. Because I have absolutely no Magic Pin on my runes. As you guys already saw my masteries. I have like the 1 Magic Pin mastery. And then I have none in my build, so it's only going to work when you're really fed like this. You could trade out really the needless, whatever I was going for a Void Staff instead of a Death Cap, or you could get, instead of a Gunblade, you could go ahead and get Liandry's pretty early. That'll give you some survivability. That's why I got Gunblade, for the survivability, not for the heal. I mean, the healing is why it's survivability, but you could do Liandry's, get a little bit of Magic Pen and some survivability. Not nearly as much, but some, and that's kind of what you need at this point in the build. Here, Riven's going to jump on me. I'm going to go ahead and play it safe, because once again, once I'm close, Riven's going to stun me, Jax is going to stun me, Lux is going to snare me. They really didn't want me to do anything, which was smart on their part. But anyways, I'm going to kill Gromp. With that Gunblade, I'm not going to really take any damage from it. Kind of just hanging around. I was pretty sure they had this warded. We find a ward there. I wasn't exactly sure if this was warded or not, but it doesn't really matter because we have supers mid and their bot lane is top, so we are going to be able to take this turret. Pantheon goes ahead and goes for the dive, but then he backs off because he realizes no one's around. Once again, this is where our team comp suffers. I mean, we're doing fine right now. We are going to take the turret. The game's about to end, but just then nobody could follow up on Pantheon's dive because we're all too squishy, so it's stuff like that. But here, the enemy team lets us harass them too much while we're taking the turret, so I go ahead and jump on them. We get the Riven. The Lux is really low, but I know that Leona is going to CC the hell out of me if I try to go near Lux, so I just kind of leave. And I pretend like I want to go for this inhib, which I did, but then my team gets in a fight, so I have to turn around. Draven comes towards me. I'm not going to fight him. I kind of have to play this slow. I couldn't just obviously run straight down here, or else I would have died. So I'm eventually looping around all the way around. Now I'm back with my team. These are the drawbacks of playing a full damage jungler anyone, because you have to wait on your team. I mean, I could assassinate someone if they're alone, but like this late in the game, when they're all huddled together in their base, there's no way I can catch someone alone. Here, I do actually mess up. We can slow it down a little bit. I'm baiting them to chase me because I thought my team was a little bit closer, and I honestly thought I could outplay them. But Riven is going to be able to get me really low. And then here, I bait her again, and then she's in her flash range. She flashes, she kills me. My team did get the dragon in the meantime. And Pantheon comes bot. He dies for no real reason, but they are really low. So Kane's going to come in and kill 1 or 2, I think. No, this is not. Is Ashe going to die too? I think she is. Yep. The soft quadra kill. That was led off by me because I was baiting for a team that wasn't there, but you know, it happens. It's really not the end of the world. Their team backs. I came to see if any of them were messing around my red. They're not, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the red, finish off the blue. Riven is solo pushing. I say let's go ahead and jump on her. She just flashed onto our Ashe, which is true, she did. So we go ahead and jump on her. I am going to finish her off right here. She gets us kind of low, but that's just because she dodged one of my Qs because she's super mobile. But either way, we're going to finish her off, and then all of a sudden it is a 5v4. Kane jumps onto their Lux, finishes her off, so now it is a 5v3. So I can go pretty aggro right now. Unfortunately, Draven does have a GA, so I do have to kind of respect that. I could obviously kill him or pop his GA, no problem, but then I would get CC'd between Leona and Jax, and when Draven respawned, I would be in a lot of trouble. So because of that, I'm not jumping on him. It's taking it kind of slow. Pushing bases, let's just go ahead and speed it up. I'm pretty sure it ends like any minute now, but it's just kind of a slow game because we didn't have a frontliner or anyone to engage. So we have to wait on them to make a mistake. So Draven pushes. That's going to be a mistake. I finish off the Draven. They're going to finish off the Jax. I'm right here. I use my Gunblade to slow to Leona. I'm going to jump on her. We're going to finish her off. Riven's right there. I'm not even going to dive the Riven. I couldn't care less. I come for the inhib, but then I don't want my Pantheon to die, so I come and kill the Riven. And then I go back to the inhib. And then, meanwhile, Teemo got the top inhib, so now the game is actually going to end. I'm like 90% certain. Alright, so, pretty fun game to play. Unfortunately, it did take a little while for the game to end. Like, last 7 minutes. It's just been our team trying to finish it off, but that's what happens when your team doesn't have a tank. But anyways, Ekko jungle. I played 2 games. This is the first one. I played another one before I made this video, and I also did pretty well. So, I guess thoughts, I'll come back to this. Seems to be okay. But anyways, some other news. I don't know if there'll be another video out in this next week. We'll see. But I am going to move on the 8th, which is the upcoming Tuesday. And then streaming will start on the 10th, which should be the Thursday. And then videos will be shortly after streaming. So don't know how many more videos before I move, because now I just moved in and now I gotta move out. It's a lot of work. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hold on. Bye bye.